Modding is a very fun thing, and I think it's just universally liked amongst gamers. I don't think that I have ever met a single person that just does not like modding, just the concept of it at all. I think it would really take a certain kind of person to look at the Thomas the Tank Engine mod in Skyrim and say, nope, that actually offends me. I really just do not want that mod to exist. I really hate it that this is a thing, and I think that it should just completely be gone from the internet forever. Mods are just such a universally accepted thing amongst gamers, because if you don't like it, you don't have to put it in your game. Simple as that. And so many mods really do just enhance the gameplay experience so much. I kind of went a funny route there talking about the Thomas the Tank Engine mod, but you know very well if you play Minecraft or Skyrim and you have mods in that game that there are like game-changing mods. Stuff for the graphics, and then just like complete overhauls in the RPG mechanics, different dialogue options, character trees, different ways to romance different characters. I mean, the list goes on and on. Mods are great, but for game developers, it's not always universally accepted. Mods can be kind of tricky because they are not official tweaks to your game, and therefore, according to some game developers, it can not be good for them, because not only are they not getting paid for it, but I've heard some people talk about maybe what could be called like the image effect, like how mods can just tarnish the image of your brand. I feel like I've heard this. You know what? I'm not even going to say specifically who I think it was, which game company it was, because I don't want to be wrong and make them look bad, but yeah. I do know for a fact that certain game studios have said that they do not want their reputation or their image to be tarnished from mods. Essentially, they don't want people playing their game and then they see, you know, a Thomas the Tank Engine mod, or a mod that like makes everybody swear like a sailor, like in that SpongeBob episode, and they think that that is the actual version of that game, and then everybody freaks out and then takes that game away from their little Johnny because they don't want them playing it. It's a very odd way to look at mods that way, but yeah, regardless, some game studios do see things that way. They only want their official version of their game out on the market, nothing else. So what I'm getting at is you don't always see game studios that are supportive of mods. Now, last month, the director of Final Fantasy VII Remake, Naoki Hamaguchi, had an interview, I believe, with Epic Games, it looks like. This was kind of to promote some of their games being available on the Epic Games store. And he talked about mods, and he said that there would be no official mod support for Rebirth. And he also kind of made a comment about mods, maybe how not all of them are good. He said that he wanted modders, quote, not to create or install anything offensive or inappropriate. So people who were hardcore Final Fantasy fans, or even just Square Enix fans, it wasn't the greatest thing to hear that, especially if you are a PC player and you love mods. Yeah, and I mean, especially a game like a turn-based RPG, mods could be so simple to make, yet so absolutely game-changing. You know, tweaking things here and there could give you an entirely new experience. So to hear this from the director of Rebirth himself wasn't a great thing to hear, but it just came out. In an interview, it looks like with Automaton, that the same person, Naoki Hamaguchi, kind of reversed his stance, but according to him, it was just kind of a misunderstanding, so it's kind of how you look at it. He says, quote, I respect mods, they breathe life into the PC market, and he even did mention that he plays games with mods on them himself, and he said that he's fully aware that game mods are very widely embraced by the general gaming community and are essentially a net positive to the gaming experience. It's kind of a quality of life thing. So to kind of touch on his earlier comments, he basically said that for that older comment, he was talking about just being mindful about what you create and specifically what you download in terms of mods. He doesn't want any mods that would distract from the overall gaming experience, which, I mean, I guess I see what he is saying there. Again, though, with something like mods, you kind of need to accept it all or don't accept any of it, because there's gonna be those Thomas the Tank Engine type mods that are definitely going to distract from the overall gaming experience, and you know, it is what it is. And so he also said, quote, there are mods that could shock some players, so I encourage users to research what they are installing and for creators to be mindful of their audience. And then he did go on to talk about Fallout and the Elder Scrolls games and how mods have played a significant role in these games, and he's absolutely correct about that. When I think of mods, I think of Fallout and Skyrim. So I guess kind of the big picture thing here, I mean, while what he said didn't, confirm that tomorrow there's going to be official mod support for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and all Final Fantasies going forward. No, we didn't get something like that, but especially with what he said about seeing all the success that mods have brought Fallout and Skyrim, maybe this is the beginning for, at least down the line, some sort of mod support for Final Fantasy and or Square Enix games.